Very good morning to all of you, my friends. I hope you guys have revised what I have discussed in the previous session in process costing. So now, today we'll be starting with a full-fledged question and thereafter we'll discuss the remaining part of the chapter. So let's start without wasting time. Let's start. So without wasting time, let's start a full-fledged question. I'll be discussing the question of study material. Further, the similar question is there in the notes also what I have provided. I request you guys to please open the notes what I have provided. Similar question is there in the study material also. I'm discussing example number 4 of my material. Very good morning, Roshita. Very good morning, Vishal. So let's start with example number 4 of the material what I have provided. Further, the similar question is there in the study material. So RST Limited processes product Z through two distinct process first and process second. Now on completion, it is transferred to finished stock. From the following information for the year 2021, prepare process first account, process second account, and finished stock account. So the details are given as regards raw material transferred to the next process, normal loss, direct wages, direct expenses, manufacturing overheads, and scrap value per unit. Further, the information is given that 6,000 units of finished goods were sold at a profit of 15% on cost. Assume that there is no opening and closing stock of work in progress. Very good, Darshan. Very good, Suman, Sudhanshu, and Arunima. So let's start with example number 4. Very good morning, Krishna. So let's start with example number 4. The raw material that is introduced in process first is 7,500 units. And the rate of raw material is rupees 60 per unit. So this will be 4,50,000. Further, the direct wages are 1,35,750. Further, the direct expenses are 60% of wages. So 135,750 into 60%. To direct expenses. Further, manufacturing overheads are 20% of direct wages. Now the information is given in the question as regards the normal loss, and it is 5% of input. That is 375 units. And these units can be sold in the market at the rate 12.5 per unit. So 4,687. Further, it is given in the question that the output of process 1 that is to be transferred to process 2 is 7,050. So I made an input of 7,500. My expected output was 7,125. However, my actual output is only 7,050. So it means 75 units is my abnormal loss. We can say this is the balancing figure also. Very good morning, Ms. Survase. So now the question is how to calculate this value. So very simple. Let's calculate the total cost of this process, that is 4,50,000 plus 135,750 plus 81,450 plus 27,150. That is 694,350. 694,350 minus scrap value realized on sale of normal loss 4,687 whole divided by my input, that is 7,500 minus normal loss, that is 375. So this is how we will calculate the cost per unit. So this will be 689,663. We can directly calculate it. 96.7948 is the final answer. That is the cost per unit. So if we multiply it by 75, this will be 7260. And this will be 682,403. If you guys have any queries in this part, you guys can please post your queries. So this is how process first account is to be prepared. Now let's prepare process second account. Again, units, amount. Now the output of process second will be the input of process. Output of process first will be the input of process second. So to process first, 7050 and 682,403. Sudhanshu Shekhar, as discussed earlier also, if any scrap value is realized on sale of scrap, then it will be deducted from the total cost. So this is how we calculate the net cost divided by my expected production. Now, the direct wages are 129,250. Further, when talking about direct expenses, it is 65% of direct wages. Manufacturing overheads are 15% of direct wages. It is given in the question that the normal loss is 10% of the input. So this will be 705. And the scrap value that is realized on sale of normal loss is 37.5. So multiplied by 37.5 to 26437. Further, it is given in the question that the units transferred to finished stock is 6525. Now, 7050 was my input, and I was expecting a production of 6345. However, my actual output is 6525. So the balancing figure is abnormal gain, 2 abnormal gain. That is 180. Now the point is we have to calculate the value of these two. So again, the same concept. The total cost of the process, that is 682,403, 129,250, 84012, 19388 minus minus 26,437 whole divided by so we have prepared process first account and process second account. If you guys have any queries in this part, you guys can please post your query. Waiting for your queries. Giving you 2 minutes time. This is 375 into 12.5, Varsha. Yes, Suman, Vishal, Rushita, any doubts? Bhumika, Darshan, Kiran Shukla. So Kiran Shukla, the total cost minus the scrap value on sale of normal loss divided by total units, that is 7,050 minus 705. This is how this cost is calculated. Now let's prepare finished stock account. So to process second, that is 6525. Now, by cost of sales, since 6,000 units are sold, so by cost of sales, 6,000, and by balance carried down, 525. So this is how finished stock account is to be prepared, wherein out of 6,525 units, Varsha, have some patience. Out of 6,525 units, 6,000 units were sold. 6,000 units were sold and balance 525 are still in stock. So Varsha, how you have calculated 375 units? It is 7,500 into 5%. This is how 375 units are calculated. And 375 into 12.5 is 4687. Now, let's prepare abnormal loss account and abnormal gain account. First, we'll be discussing abnormal loss account of process first. Now, abnormal loss is 75 units and the value is 7260. So, to process first account. $75 units and 7260. Now we'll assume that I have already discussed this part. We will assume that just like the units of normal loss that are sold in the market, again these 75 units will be sold in the market at same rate. So 75 units it is given in the question. Anisha, Kulla, So 75 units into scrap value is 12.5. So 937. So balance will be transferred to costing P&L. So this will be 6323. When talking about abnormal gain and normal loss account, so the abnormal gain in process second is 180 units and the value is 25,208. So by process second account, and it is 180 units and the value is 25,208. Further, we have to prepare normal loss account also. My normal loss is 705 units. So to process now, as I told you, what is abnormal gain? The saving in normal loss. What is abnormal gain? The saving in normal loss. So the units that are actually sold is only 705 minus 180. That is only 525 units are sold in the market. At the same rate, that is 37.5. Balance will be adjusted against abnormal gain. And my abnormal gain is how much? 180 units. So two normal loss. Balance will be transferred to costing. Ishan base, we will have to prepare separate normal loss account for process first, wherein in normal loss of process first account, it will be to process first 375 4687 and again buy bank 375 4687. This much explanation is more than sufficient. We can here write to process first 375 4687 and buy bank 375 4687. This much is more than sufficient. That's why I have skipped this part. So if you guys have any queries in this part, you guys can please post your query. Further, those who want to copy this part can please copy. The solution is not there in the study material. So giving you 2 minutes time to copy, please. Yes, Darshan. Yes, Ishan. The similar illustration is there in the study material illustration number 3. However, they have not presented abnormal loss, abnormal gain, and normal loss account. So these 3 accounts I want you guys to copy. I'll be preparing income statement also, don't worry. We can prepare only one normal loss account also. So to avoid confusion, I have skipped this part. I'll be covering this part. Don't worry, Sudhanshu. So now let's prepare costing P&L account. See, we will transfer the cost of sales, that is 6,000 units were sold and 840298 is the cost of sales. So 2 Now it is given in the question. Now it is given in the question that these 6,000 units were sold at a profit of 15% on cost. So we can easily calculate the selling price. That is, 1 second. So these 6,000 units were sold at a profit of 15% on cost. So 840,298 by sales 840,298 into 115%. So this is how the sales will be calculated. So 966,343. Further, this amount is to be transferred to costing P&L. So 2 abnormal loss 6323. Further, by abnormal gain, that is 18,458. So finally, we'll calculate the net profit. $138,180. So this is how the net profit will be calculated of costing P&L. So I hope this part is clear now. Kavita sir, how come 937? Where is 937, my dear? Where is 937? I hope Sudhanshu, this part is clear. Arunima Sinha, either you can prepare only one normal loss account. So in this normal loss account only, we will write to process first. That is whatever the normal loss is, and buy back the same amount. That is more than sufficient. No, Roshita, you have to present sales and cost separately. Sudhanshu Shekhar, hopefully your query is resolved. Okay, when talking about this amount 937, we will assume that just like normal loss, these units are also scrapped in the market at the same rate. So when talking about this 937, herein in process first, the units can be scrapped in the market at the rate. Units can be sold in the market at the rate 12.5. So this is 75 into 12.5. This is 75 into 12.5. And when talking about this, it is 180 into 37.5. I hope this part is clear. ज्यादा कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा when it is abnormal loss, but yes, if it is abnormal gain, then we have to prepare normal loss account. Yes, it's up to you, Bhumika. Very good morning, Sushil Kumar. Sir, abnormal loss is 6322. Yeah, there is rounding of difference. Anyone having any queries in this part? Yes, Harish. Hopefully your query is resolved. Diksha Agarwal. Yes, Suman, it is 75 into 12.5. Yes, Kavita, Darshan, Rushita, any doubts? Harish, hopefully your query is resolved. Arunima, Rajesh. Varsha, I hope you are now thorough with the calculation, how these figures are calculated. Kiran Shukla. Nothing will be transferred to costing P&L, Ishan. The practice is the only solution, Rajesh. If you practice a lot, then yes, I assure you, you will be able to solve the questions. Practice is the key to success. So let's proceed further. So this question is nothing but the revision of the previous session. So now let's proceed further. Now, let's start with the next part of the chapter, wherein what if in case, if the output of particular process is transferred to next process at cost plus profit. अब तक जो हमने question discuss किए है, concept discuss किए, we were discussing that whatever the cost of the process first is, that is to be transferred to the next process. But what if in case, if the output of a particular process is transferred to the next process at cost plus profit? So how to deal with these questions? I'll be discussing a question. Again, the same question is there in the study material. So let's start with example number 7 of my material, that is inter-process profit. Again, the similar question is there in the study material. So let's start. So A Limited produces product AXE which passes through two processes before it is completed and transferred to finished stock. The following data relate to March 2020, wherein particulars, opening stock, direct material, direct wages, factory overheads, closing stock, inter-process profit included in opening stock. All this information is given in the question related to process first, second, and finished stock. Now, output of process first is transferred to process second at 25% profit on transfer price. So herein the output of process first is transferred to next process at cost plus profit, wherein the profit is 25% profit of transfer price. Further, the output of process second is transferred to finished stock at 20% profit on transfer price. Stock in process is valued at prime cost. However, it is given in the question that finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process second. So I think they are following the FIFO method, LIFO method. Further, the sales during the period is 1,40,000. FIFO method they are following. Further, the sales during the period are 1,40,000. Prepare process cost account and finished goods account showing the profit element at each stage. The balancing figure will be transferred to costing P&L, my dear. In terms of numbers. So I'm discussing illustration number 6 of study material, and from my my set it is example number 7. So let's start. So let's start with opening stock. From my side, it is example number 7. And from study material, I think it is illustration number 6, page number 10.22. So thank you, Rushita. Herein, my opening stock is 7,500. To material, 15,000. To wages, 11,200. Since it is given in the question that closing stock is to be valued at prime cost, that's why I'm calculating prime cost separately. So 7,500 plus 15,000 plus 11,200, this will be 33,700. In this, we will subtract closing stock. That is 3,700. That is given in the question. Avita, when it is given in the question that the output is transferred to next process at profit, so we will prepare the table in this way, that is cost, profit, and total. However, if in question no information is given as regards profit, then we'll prepare units and amount. Further, factory overheads are also given. That is 10,500. So 40,500 is the cost. Now, process second will transfer to process second. Now this cost column will go as it is, 40,500. And this profit element will be calculated using this figure, that is 40,500. These figures will be different in process second account. So that's why I'm mentioning this part clearly. This 40,500 will be transferred from this point, and the profit will be calculated on this 40,500. So herein it is given in the question that the output of process first is transferred to process second at 25% profit on transfer price. So it means 40,500 is 75%. So how much will be 100%? 54,000. So 54,000 minus 40,500. So this will be 13,500. So 40,500. This will be 13,500 and this will be 54,000. And the profit will be my balancing figure. That is 13,500 minus this side 13,500 and 13,500. 40,500, 13,500 and 54,000. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Yes, alternatively, we can write closing stock on the credit side also. Both the approaches are correct. Waiting for your queries in this part. This process first account is very easy. But yes, process second account, you have to be very careful. So waiting for your queries, guys. Sir, can you please explain again the profit portion? So here in the profit is 25% on transfer price. So let's assume transfer price is 100, profit is 25, therefore my cost will be 75. So 40,500 is my cost, that is equals to 75. So how much will be 100? That will be 54,000. And once these figures are calculated, we will calculate the balancing figure. So these two are the balancing figure. Yes, wherein their inter-process profit is there, we have to use that profit column. So the closing stock is deducted. So here in my closing stock 3,700, it is given in the question and it is deducted to calculate the net cost. That's why I have deducted closing stock. The factory overheads are clearly given in the question. So we have added factory overheads after deducting closing stock. So opening stock, material, wages, closing stock will get the prime cost. In this, we will add the factory overhead to calculate the total cost. So this is my total cost. So wherein in any question inter-process profit is involved, we will prepare the profit column. If no information is given as regards inter-process profit, then yes, only two columns, units and amount. So I repeat again, Sushil Kumar, wherein in question the information is given like that there is some inter-process profit involved in transfer from one process to another. So therein we will prepare the 3-column table, that is cost, profit and total. And where no information is given as regards inter-process profit, we will prepare only units and amount. You can show closing stock on the credit side also. Both the approaches are correct. So let's start with the next process, that is process second account. Now, to process first, The total was 54,000. Next is 13,500. We'll first write the opening stock. Sorry, guys. So my opening stock of the process is 9,000 and inter-process profit included in opening stock is 1,500. So 9,000 is my opening stock. 1,500 is my inter-process profit. And 7,500 is the total cost. Now we will add whatever it is received from process first. That is 40,500, 13,500, and 54,000. Now we'll add the material and labor cost. So here in my material cost and wages cost is 15,750 and 11,250. 15 and 11,250. So this is my prime cost. That is 9,000 plus 54,000 plus 15,750 plus 11,250. I'm calculating these figures. The reason for this calculation is that finished stock is to be valued at prime cost. Sorry, the closing stock is to be valued at prime cost. That's why I'm adding these figures. Herein, we have to remove the profit element from closing stock. So we'll subtract closing stock. The value of closing stock is 4,500. Now we have to calculate the profit element and we have to calculate the cost. So herein it is given in the question that stock in process is valued at prime cost. Stock in process is valued at prime cost. Process first में ये problem नहीं आई थी because it was the first process and no profit is involved in process first. But yes, in process second, there is some profit element that is transferred from process first. So that's why we have to do this calculation. So herein, the value of my closing stock is 4,500. In this, there is some profit element. And further, it is given in the question that the value of closing stock is to be valued at what? Prime cost. So herein, my profit is 15,000. On what quantity, on what amount? 90,000. $15,000, I have profit on 90,000. So how much will be the profit on 4,500? $750. So this is my profit element. And this will be my cost element, 375. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your queries. See, Suman Banerjee, how come opening stock have profit? So this opening stock is what? The stock received from process first. The stock that is transferred from process first is my opening stock. और वो जो stock process first से transfer हुआ है उसमें कुछ ना कुछ profit add हो रखा है. That's why opening stock of process second have some profit element. This is 1500 plus 13,500, 15,000. This is the total cost, that is 7,500 plus 4,500 plus 51,750 plus 11,250, that is 75,000. 75 plus 15 is 90,000. The total of this side is also 90,000. Now, when talking about the valuation of closing stock, it is given in the question that closing stock is to be valued at prime cost. So herein, this is my prime cost. So 15,000 is the profit on 90,000. So how much will be the profit on 4,500? 750. Now we'll add factory overheads to calculate the total cost. My factory overheads are 4,500. Therefore, my total cost will be 750. Now this figure will remain unchanged, that is by, sorry, finished stock account will transfer 75750. Now this calculation will be done using 90,000 because this is the cost for process second. Yes, I understand this is not the actual cost, but there is some profit element, but that profit element is of process first. So that's why we will calculate this total amount on 90,000. So herein, it is given in the question that the output of process second is transferred to finished stock at 20% profit on transfer price. It means what? This is equals to 80%. So this will be 1,12,500. So 1,12,500 minus 75750, this will be 36,750. 750,750, 36. 750 and 1,12,500. 36,750 minus 14,250. This will be 22,500. This is my balancing figure. If you guys have any doubts in this calculation, you guys can please post your queries. See, the process first is the first process of the manufacturing department. So herein no profit is involved. However, when talking about process second, the input of process second is what the output of process first. And herein, in this question, it is given clearly that output of process first is to be transferred to next process at cost plus profit. That's why the opening stock and closing stock of process second includes some profit element. $9,000, $1,500, and $7,500. So opening stock is given 9,000. Further, this 1,500 profit is given in the question. This is not an assumed figure, Darshan. This is given in the question. That's why 1,500 is the profit and 7,500 is the cost. आपको अपना दिमाग नहीं लगाना है. उन्होंने किस बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट किया? This is not our headache. They have given that inter-process profit is included in opening stock, and that is 1,500. That much is more than sufficient, my dear. Anyone else having any doubts? Sushil Kumar, Miss Singh, Rajiv Kumar, Arunima, Varsha, Kavita, Harish, Dikshita. Hopefully your query is resolved. I repeat again, process first में कोई भी profit element नहीं है. But yes, process second, whether it is opening stock, whether it is closing stock, it includes some profit element that is received from process first. That's why we do this calculation separately. Dikshita, hopefully your query is resolved. Again, each process will be treated as a separate profit center. That's why I have calculated this 1,12,500 in 90,000. See, अब हम लोग 75750 पे calculate नहीं कर सकते because it is the actual cost. It does not include the profit element of process first. But yes, this is the cost of process second. So herein the finished stock will be calculated on 90,000 because this is the cost of process second. Herein, again, 54,000 is what the cost of process second. It includes profit element, but that profit element is of process first. That's why I have calculated it on 90,000. It is given in the question, Diksha Agarwal, that the output of process second is to be transferred to finished goods at 20% profit on transfer price. So let's say my transfer price is 100, my profit is 20, and my cost is 80. So 90,000 is the cost of process second. इसके अंदर प्रोसेस सेकंड का कुछ भी प्रॉफिट जुड़ा हुआ नहीं है. So 90,000 is what the cost of process second. इसके अंदर प्रोसेस सेकंड का प्रॉफिट नहीं जुड़ा हुआ है, प्रोसेस फर्स्ट का जुड़ा हुआ है, और प्रोसेस सेकंड को उससे कोई भी मतलब नहीं है. So in simple term, 90,000 is what the cost of process second. That's why we calculated this 1,12,500 using 90,000. See, it is given cost, profit, and total. So, Kavita, to find closing stock, we are valuing at prime cost, and after that, it comes the profit of the closing stock, and then the cost comes, right? See, Kavita, it is given in the question. See, Kavita, it is given in the question. See, the purpose of calculating these figures is why? Because it is given in the question that finished stock is valued. Sorry, the closing stock is valued at prime cost. That's why we have calculated these three figures. Because we need the profit element till date and the total cost and the total amount and the cost. So that's why we have valued, this is how we have valued the closing stock using prime cost. Now, after deducting the closing stock, we have got these figures. In this, we will add factory overheads to calculate the total cost. So this is my total cost. Okay, 36,750 is the total profit till date. Very good, Darshan, for pointing out. 36,750 is the profit till date. That is of process first and process second. But the profit of process second is how much? 22,500. Ishan, any doubts? For the students who are finding it a bit difficult, to be very clear, guys, this 90,000 is the total cost of process second. Yes, it includes the profit element of process first, but that is the profit of process first. Process second को उससे कुछ भी नहीं लेना देना है. This 90,000 is the cost of process second. That's why I have calculated this 1,12,500 on 90,000. Second point, the reason of this calculation is because closing stock is to be valued at prime cost. Closing stock को prime cost पे value करना है. That's why I have calculated these figures. Wherein 15,000 is the profit on 90,000. So how much will be the profit on 4,500? 750. Yes, Ishan, any doubts? Arunima, Darshan, Bhumika, Kiran Shukla, any doubts, guys? So this 36,750 is the total profit. That is the profit of process first and profit of process second. But yes, this 22,500 is what? The profit of process second. Now let's start with finished stock account. So opening stock of finished goods is 22,500. Further, the inter-process profit is 8,250. The final value is 14,250 plus the units that are received from process second. The value is 75750, 36,750 and 1,12,500. This is 1,35,000. This is 45,000. So this will be 90,000. Now we have to subtract closing stock. My closing stock is 11,250. Now, guys, very important point. Herein in this question, the closing stock is not valued at the total quantity, but it is valued at, it is given in the question that the closing stock, finished stock is valued at price at which it is received from process second. At which it is received from process second. So herein, we'll be taking as closing stock. So we will not be taking 45 and 135, but we'll be taking 36,750 is the total profit on 1,12,500. And my closing stock is 11,250. So how much will be my profit? So this will be 3,675. Why I'm taking these figures? Because it is given in the question that the finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process second, not the total value. So this will be 7,575. Now, it is given in the question. It is given in the question that the sales during the period were 1,40,000. So by costing P&L, my cost will remain same. That is 82425. My sales value is 1,40,000. So my overall profit is 57575. So this is how finished stock account is to be prepared. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your queries. So waiting for your queries, guys. Ishan Best, hopefully your previous query is resolved. Arunima Sinha. Dikshita, hopefully your query is resolved. The first column was the cost, second column is profit, and the third one is total. Yes, Dikshita, any other queries? Arunima Sinha, it is given in the question that the opening stock is 22,500 and the profit that is included in opening stock is 8,250. So this is how I got the cost, and this is the inputs that are received from process second. So the total cost is 90, profit is 45, and the total is 135. Now herein I'll not be taking these figures because it is given in the question that the closing stock is to be valued as per the data that is received from process second. So when talking about process second, the total profit of process second is 36,750 divided by 1,12,500 into 11,250. This is how I got 3675. Yes, Dikshita. Any other query, my dear? Kavita, any doubts? Where is Kiran Shukla, Syed Yasir Ahmed, Miss Singh, Rajiv Kumar? You guys have any queries? Harish S, Rajesh K, Varsha, any doubts, guys? So that is all what about inter-process profit. Let's take a break of 15 minutes and then we'll start with the valuation of work in progress. So let's take a break of 15 minutes. Welcome back, guys. Now, there is a query from Himanshu. So, Himanshu, just follow the instructions that are given in the question. If the question is asking us to value closing stock at prime cost, then yes, opening stock, add material, labor, and direct expenses is prime cost. But if the question is asking us asking us to value closing stock in some other way, then you have to follow the instructions that are given in the question. So now let's start with the next part of the chapter, the most important part of the chapter, wherein work in progress will be discussing. So now let's start. Now till now we have discussed कि हम लोग एक particular process में inputs करते हैं, thereafter the some conversion cost is incurred and we are getting the output and that is transferred to the next process. And the output is 100% processed in respect of that process that is transferred to the next process. Now let's take a situation wherein I have made an input of 10,000 units. My normal loss is 1,000 units and the units that are completed and transferred to the next process is only 7,000 units. Units completed and transferred, 100% completed and transferred to the next process is 7,000 units, and remaining 2,000 units are still in process and completed up to 60%. So these 2,000 units that are introduced into a particular process but remain unfinished by the year end is what we call as work in progress. I repeat again, guys. That अब तक हमने जो डिस्कस किया उसमें क्या था कि प्रोसेस में हम लोग इनपुट्स करते हैं and we were getting the output that is 100% complete and that is transferred to the next process. But the point is, what if in case if certain units remain unfinished at the year end? How to value the same, we'll be discussing this part. So when talking about the meaning of work in progress, what is work in progress? Units started or inputs started for production but remain unfinished by end of year. Is what यूनिट्स या इनपुट्स हमने प्रोसेस में डाले बट वो 100% प्रोसेस ही नहीं हो पाए. दे आर 60% कंप्लीट और 70% कंप्लीट. दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस. नाउ गाइस, when talking about in quantitative terms, we can easily identify that this much units are 100% complete, this much units are 60% complete. But the point is, when talking about in monetary terms, it's very difficult to calculate. We cannot directly identify that will be the monetary value of 100% completed units and this will be the monetary value of 60% or 80% or 50% completed units. So herein, the point is how to value work in progress, how to value the units that are transferred. So herein, when talking about the valuation of work in progress, the concept of equivalent production comes into picture. the concept of equivalent production comes into the picture. I repeat again, guys, when talking about in quantitative terms, we can easily identify that this much of units are 100% complete, this much of units are 60% complete, this much of units are 20% complete. But when talking about in monetary terms, yes, it's very difficult. So here to value the work in progress, that is the units that are finished or the units that are that remain unfinished by year end, the concept of equivalent production comes into the picture. So what is equivalent production? I'll be discussing this part separately. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. The weightage of this chapter is, Rushita, 8 to 12 marks. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. This part is very important, guys. Examiner do ask questions frequently on valuation of work in progress. So whatever I'm discussing, please focus, and whatever the queries you have, you guys can please post your queries. So now let's start with valuation of work in progress. Let's take a situation wherein my input is 10,000 units. My normal loss is, let's say, 1,000 units. And my output is 9,000 units. That is 100% completed and transferred to next process. Further, my process cost is, let's say, 1,80,000. So we can easily calculate the cost per unit that are 100% complete. That is 1,80,000 divided by 9,000. So the cost per unit will be ₹20. And this is the cost of the units that are 100% complete or processed. Now, herein we have calculated the cost of units that are 100% complete, and that is ₹20. Now, if we want to calculate the cost of units that are 60% complete, we can easily calculate that the cost of 60% processed unit will be how much? 20 into 60%. Because 20 is the cost of 100% completed unit. If the units are 60% complete, how much will be the cost? Very simple, 12 rupees. If we want to calculate the cost of 40% completed unit, again we can easily calculate 20 is the cost for 100% completed unit. So for 40% completed unit, this will be. So if we can easily calculate, if we can calculate the cost of 100% units, it's very easy for us to calculate the units that are not 100% complete, that are still, some percentage of work is pending. So I repeat again, guys, what I want to say is that if we can calculate the cost of 100%, if we can calculate the cost of units that are 100% complete, we can easily calculate the cost of unfinished goods, or we can say the cost of the goods that are still in the process. So now, this is a very basic point wherein the units are 100% completed only. Now let's take a different situation wherein, let's say, my input says 10,000 units. There is no normal loss. And further, the process cost is, let's say, rupees 1,20,000. There is no normal loss. But when talking about the output, we are getting three categories of output. let's say 5,000 units we are getting that are 100% complete. 3,000 units we are getting as an output, which are 80% complete. And 2,000 units that are 30% complete. Now the point is how to calculate the cost per unit. इधर जो है in this part हमारे पास एक ही तरह का output आया था and that was 100% complete. So it was very easy for us to calculate the cost per unit of the goods that are 100% complete. But herein I am getting output in three parts. That is the first category wherein 5,000 units were 100% complete, 3,000 units are 80% complete, and 2,000 units are 30% complete. Now the point is how to calculate the cost per unit. So herein the concept of equivalent production comes into picture. So we'll calculate first the equivalent number of units. We will first calculate the equivalent number of units. How to calculate equivalent number of units? In first case, 5,000 units are 100% complete. It means 5,000 are the equivalent number of units. In second case, 3,000 units are 80% complete. It means 2,400 units are 100% complete. What I want to say is that 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 2,400 units that are 100% complete. Guys, do make a note of it. What I want to say is that the cost for 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to cost of 2,400 units that are 100% complete. I repeat, I'm writing this statement for your reference. That is, the cost of 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equals to the cost of 2,400 units that are 100% complete. I'll be discussing this part practically also, don't worry guys. Similarly, in the third case, 2,000 units are 30% complete. It means the equivalent number of units will be 600. So the total equivalent number of units will be how much? 8,000 units. These are 8,000 units and they are 100% complete. I repeat again, 5,000 units are 100% complete. So that's why I have written 5,000. These are the equivalent number of units. 3,000 units are 80% complete. It means what? The cost of 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 2,400 units that are 100% complete. Similarly, the cost of 2,000 units that are 30% complete will be equal to the cost of 600 units that are 100% complete. So these three are 100% completed. These three are 100% complete. So 8,000 units, what we are getting is 8,000 are the equivalent number of units that are 100% completed. So herein, now we can easily calculate the cost per unit. Very simple, guys. My total cost of the process is how much? 1,20,000. My equivalent number of units is 8,000 that are 100% complete. I am writing this part again and again. So my cost per unit will be how much? 1,20,000 divided by 8,000, that is 15. Rupees 15 per unit is my cost of 100% completed unit. So herein I have calculated the cost of 100% completed unit and that is 15. So now we can easily calculate the cost of 80% completed unit. Very simple. The cost of 100% completed unit is 15. So for 80% completed unit, how much will be the cost? 12 rupees. Again, for the third category, the cost of 100% completed units is how much? 15. So how much will be the cost of 30% completed unit? 4 points. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. I repeat again, in the first case, we were getting only one output and that was 100% complete. So it was very easy for us to calculate the cost per unit for 100% completed unit. और एक बार अगर हमने 100% completed unit का cost per unit निकाल लिया, then it's very easy for us to calculate the cost for 60%, 40%, 20% completed unit. But herein the situation is different. We are not getting only one output. We are getting the output in three categories, wherein we are getting 5,000 units that are 100% complete, 3,000 units that are 80% complete, 2,000 units that are 30% complete. So this method will not apply. We have to first calculate the equivalent number of units and then we will calculate the cost per unit. So how to calculate equivalent number of units? 5,000 units that are 100% complete is 5,000. 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be 2,400. And 2,000 units that are 30% complete will be 600. So these are 8,000 units that are 100% complete. So we have easily calculated the cost per unit, that is the process cost 1,20,000 divided by 8,000 is the equivalent number of units. So we are getting rupees 15 per unit and that is the cost of 100% completed units. So now we have calculated the cost of 100% completed units. We can easily calculate the cost of 80% and 30% completed units. So for 80%, 15 into 80%, 12, and 30% to 15 into 30%, that is 4.5. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Waiting for your queries, guys. This part is very important. I want you guys to understand this concept thoroughly. Don't try to do rectification. Try to memorize the concepts rather than the pattern or the formula. So waiting for your queries, guys. Yes, Ishan, Arya, Bhumika, Darshan, Himanshu, Rajesh, Miss Singh, Rajiv Kumar, Dikshita, Suman Banerjee, Kiran Shukla, Varsha. Any doubts, guys? This part is very, very important. So now, waiting for your queries, guys. So now since we have calculated the cost per unit, we can easily calculate the cost of all the categories of output. So herein, calculation of total cost. So for first category, that is 5,000 units. The cost for 100% completed unit is 15. So 5,000 into 15, that is 75,000. For second case, again, 3,000 units are 80% complete. 3,000 units are 80% complete. And the cost of 80% completed units is how much? 12. So this will be 36,000. And similarly, in third case, 2,000 units are only 30% complete. And the cost of these 30% completed unit is how much? 4.5. 9,000. So this is how 1,20,000 is distributed. Now we can distribute the cost in an alternate way also. See, for the first category, it is 5,000 into 15, that is 75,000. Now for the second category, guys, the cost of 100% completed units is 15. And as I told you, 3,000 units that are 80% complete, their cost will be equal to 2,400 units that are 100% complete. So in category 2, equivalent number of units is how much? 2400 that are 100% complete. It will be into 15. So this will be 36. Again, the cost, where we can say that the cost matches 36,000 and 36,000. Similarly, 2,000 units that are 30% complete, their cost will be equal to 600 units that are 100% complete. So 600 into 15, that is 9. So you can use any of the ways to calculate or distribute the cost. Both the approaches are correct. Yes, Suman Banerjee, see, I have made the calculation in this way. That is, as I told you, the cost of 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 2,400 units that are 100% complete. So both the approaches are correct, Suman. I request you guys to please post your query. I repeat again, guys, this concept of equivalent production comes into picture when there is work in progress. That is, the unit started for production but remain unfinished by year end. So we have to calculate cost per unit. We have to first calculate the equivalent number of units. Cost per unit calculate करने के लिए हमें equivalent number of units calculate करने पड़ेंगे. That is, 5,000 units that are 100% complete will be 5,000. 3,000 units that are 80% complete, their equivalent number of units will be how much? 2,400. 2,000 units that are 30% complete, their equivalent number of units will be how much? 600. We can use any of the method, but yes, from examination point of view, I do recommend this method. This method is much more easy and less time consuming, Ishan. I'll be taking, don't worry. So this is the value of the units that are transferred, and these two are the value of the units that are still in process. The value of goods that are transferred is 75,000, and the work in progress, the value of work in progress is 36 plus 9, that is 45,000. I request you guys to please copy this concept this concept part. Yes, Himanshu, any doubts? Harish? This part is very important. Examiner do ask question frequently on this part in process costing. Arunima, Kavita, Diksha, any doubts? Dikshita, Sushil Kumar, Harish, any doubts? Sudhanshu, hopefully your query is resolved. Now let's discuss this concept with the help of an example that is there in my material. So it's slide number 15, that is concept of equivalent production. Concept of equivalent production. So let's start. I request you guys to please download the material what I have provided. So let's start with the concept of equivalent production. The input is 10,000 units. The material, labor, and overheads are given. The units transferred to the next process is 9,000. The closing work in progress is 1,000 units. And when talking about material, it is 80% complete and labor and overheads are 60% complete. You are required to prepare the statement of equivalent production and the value of units that are transferred and closing work in progress. So herein we have to value the units that are transferred and that are still in process. So two categories of outputs are there, wherein the first is the units transferred and the second is the units that are not yet complete. So let's start, guys. We have to prepare process accounts. Is the question is asking us to prepare process account. So herein the input is 10,000 units. And the total cost is 49,000. Further, the labor cost is 19,200. And the overheads are 28,800. Further, the units that are transferred to the next process, let's say process second, is 9,000. And the units that are still in process, that is closing work in progress, is 1,000. Now, herein in this question, the percentage of completion of material, labor, and overheads is different. See, agar एक ही percentage of completion दिया हुआ होता, let's say that is the closing work in progress is 80% complete. We would have easily calculated by the approach what we have already discussed. Now, herein the percentage of completion of material and labor and overheads is different. So we will calculate the separate equivalent units in respect of material and labor and overheads. So for this, we have to prepare the statement of equivalent production. This is the way you have to present the solution in exams. So statement of, the point is we have to calculate these two values. So the statement of equivalent production. Particulars, total material. Further, the percentage of completion of labor and overhead is same. So I'm taking this part together, labor and overheads. Now let's start, guys. The first part is the units transferred. See, again, kuch rocket science nahi hai ye statement. It's just the, I mean, we are presenting the calculation of equivalent units in a systematic way. So herein, when talking about these 10,000 units, 9,000 units were completed and 100% completed and transferred. So units, how much? 9,000. So equivalent number of units in respect of material will also be 9,000 and in respect of labor and overhead will also be 9,000. Again, 9,000 units are 100% complete. Therefore, the equivalent number of units in respect of material is 9,000 and labor and overheads is also 9,000. Now, when talking about closing work in progress, the units are 1,000. Now, when talking about material, the percentage of completion in respect of material is 80%. मतलब कि मटेरियल के रिलेटेड 80% काम हो गया है और लेबर और ओवरहेड्स के रिलेटेड 60% काम कंप्लीट हो गया है. So when talking about the equivalent number of units, in this case it will be 800, and in case of labor and overhead this will be 600. So my equivalent number of units in respect of material will be how much? 9,800, and in respect of labor and overheads, it will be 9,600. That are 100% complete. These units are 100% complete. So now we have got the equivalent number of units. Now let's calculate the cost per unit. We'll prepare a statement showing calculation of cost per unit. So when talking about material cost, my total material cost is how much? 49,000 divided by how much is the equivalent number of units in respect of material? 9,800. So my cost per unit will be how much? Rupees 5 per unit. In respect of labor also, my cost of labor is how much? 19,200. And the equivalent number of units that are 100% complete is 9,600. So my cost per unit will be rupees 2 per unit. Now in respect of overheads also, my cost is 28,800, and in respect of overheads also equivalent number of units are how much? 9,600. So the cost will be rupees 3 per unit. So my total cost will be how much? 10 per unit. So my total cost will be 10 per unit, and this is the cost of units that are 100% complete. Rupees 10 per unit is what? The cost of the units that are 100% completed. This rupees 10 is the cost of the units that are 100% completed. So now we can easily calculate the value of units transferred. How much are the units transferred? 9,000 units are transferred and they are 100% complete. So 9,000 into 10, 90,000 is the cost of units that are. So I repeat again, these 9,800 units are 100% completed and 9,600 units are 100% completed. So this is how I have calculated the cost per unit, that is rupees 10 per unit of the units that are 100% complete. Now when talking about work in progress, we'll first calculate the cost per unit. So in respect of material, the cost per unit is how much? Rupees 5. And when talking about the completion of material, it is 80% complete. So 8 5s are 40, that is 4. In respect of labor, again, the cost per unit we have calculated is 2. And the percentage of completion in respect of labor is only 60%. So this will be 1.2. When talking about overheads, the cost per unit is 3, and again the percentage of completion is how much? 60%. So this will be 1 point. So the cost of units that are transferred will be how much? 7. So what will be the value of work in progress? 7 into 1000, that is 7. So I repeat again, guys, in respect of material, the cost of 100% processed in respect of material is 5. So for 80% material cost, it is how much? 4. Similarly, in respect of labor, again, rupees 2 per unit is the cost of units that are 100% completed in respect of labor. However, when talking about work in progress, only 60% of the work is done. So 1.2 is the cost. And in case of overheads, also 60% of the work is done. That's why 1.8. So this is the cost per unit of the units that are transferred. So 7 into 1000, that is 7,000. Now, alternatively, we can calculate this work in progress. There is one more way to calculate work in progress that I have discussed. And this method is recommended also. So guys, as I told you, the cost of 1000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 800 units that are 100% completed. So when talking about three costs are involved: material, labor, and overheads. So as I told you guys, the cost of 1000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 800 units that are 100% complete. So we will directly take the equivalent number of units, 800. These are 100% completed units. And the cost of 100% completed units we have, that is 5. Similarly, the equivalent number of units in case of labor is 600. And they are 100% complete and the cost is rupees 2. Similarly, 600 into 3. So again, this cost will be equal to how much? 7,000. From examination point of view and from the remaining question, I suggest you this approach because this approach is a bit time consuming and there are chances कि आपसे mistake हो सकता है. But when talking about this approach, very simple. Use the table. How much completed in respect of material? 800 into the cost as calculated. In respect of labor, equivalent number of units are 600 into the cost per unit of 100% completed units. Further, in respect of overheads also, equivalent units are 600, they are 100% complete. So इसके ऊपर 100% complete वाला rate apply हो जाएगा. So this is how the work in progress is valued. So guys, waiting for your queries on this part. Even if you guys have even a small query, अगर आपको लगता है, if you want me to explain this part again, I'll explain. But I want you guys, every one of you guys, to be crystal clear with the approach. That is, what is equivalent number of units? What I'm doing this? What is the difference between these two methods? It's simple mathematics. और कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ, एक simple mathematics use कर रहा हूँ. But if you guys have any conceptual queries, then you guys can please post your query. Waiting for your queries, giving you last 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, whatever the queries you have, you can please post your queries. Further, I request you guys to please copy the explanation. I suggest you this approach is not recommended. This approach is recommended. Any doubts in this part, you guys can please. So when talking about the valuation of work in progress, guys, we'll first calculate in this approach, we have calculated the cost per unit. That is the cost of 100% completed in respect of material is 5. So 5 into 80%, that is 4. Labor, it is 60% complete. So 2 into 60% is 1.2. Again, overhead 3 into 60%, that is 1.8. So this is the cost of work in progress. I mean, this is the cost per unit of work in progress. So 7 into 1,000, 7,000. Now there is an alternate way, the much more easier way, and I do recommend you to follow this approach. When talking about material, again, as I told you guys, the 1,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to the cost of 1,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 800 units that are 100% complete. So better take this cost only. So 800 into 5, 600 into 2, and 600 into 3. So this is the approach of calculating work in progress. Yes, Arya, the second alternative is very easy. And thank you so much, Arya. Okay, sir, you please explain the table of equivalent units once again. So herein, जो last concept में मैंने discuss किया था, again I am following the same approach. The difference in the last concept part and this is like herein the percentage of completion of material, labor and overheads is different. पिछले क्वेश्चन में क्लियरली गिवन था कि 50% कंप्लीट है या 30% कंप्लीट है. बाइफर्केशन नहीं दिया था कि मटेरियल का, लेबर का या ओवरहेड्स का. So herein in this case, if any bifurcation is given that material is so and so percentage complete, labor and so is percentage is complete, better we do prepare the statement of equivalent production. So herein out of these 10,000 units, 9,000 units were processed and transferred to the next process. So 9,000 units into 100%, 9,000 units into 100%. It is 100% processed in respect of material, labor and overheads. But when talking about closing work in progress of these 1,000 units, they are 80% completed in respect of material and 60% completed in respect of labor and overheads. So the total equivalent number of units in respect of material will be 9,800 and labor and overheads it will be 9,600. So this is what the table of equivalent production. Further, the cost we have already calculated, that is 90,000 and 7. Thank you so much, Arunima. Yes, this is the easiest method and it is recommended while writing exams and while solving these questions. Further, the remaining questions I'll be using this method only. This method is just to explain you the concept, that's why. Bhumika, hopefully your query is resolved. Darshan. Komal, any doubts? Rushita, Dikshita, Diksha Agrawal, Kiran Shukla, Varsha, Ishan, any doubts? Yes, Rushita, you have to practice a lot. I'll be discussing 2 questions in the next session. So don't worry over equivalent production only. And if the time permits, I'll discuss one more question that is not there. I'll be posting that question separately. So guys, done for today. I think I'm not getting any queries. Thank you so much, Suman Banerjee. So that's it for the day. Let's meet a day after tomorrow with the remaining part of the chapter. We'll be discussing few more questions relating to equivalent production. So enjoy your day. Please do practice this question again. And we'll meet up day after tomorrow with the remaining part of the chapter. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you.